Okay, so this is my video is already recorded and edited at least somewhat. I just have to show you and explain something before it starts. So, it might be badly edited because this took me probably like 5 nights of not sleeping. Yeah, I would stay up all night and then I would try to get a couple hours of sleep in the day because I was up every night trying to edit this because it kept shutting down on me and it wouldn't save, so I had to redo things so many times, and then it was working so slow. I had to keep saving it. If I didn't keep saving it, then it would shut down on me and it wouldn't save unless I had it saved from when it shut down, and you never knew when it was going to just crash. So if I didn't keep saving it, then it could have crashed on me and it wouldn't have been saved, if that makes sense. But a lot of the times it did crash before I had parts saved, so I had to keep redoing it. Oh my gosh. Look though, look how I just wanted to show you. Look how much, look at all this. Look at all this. Like all these, oh my gosh, this video. It's not necessarily one of my longest or most edited videos, but the fact that it kept shutting down on me. I mean, it's just, I had to keep redoing parts, and oh my gosh, it took me so long. And then finally I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna, if I missed parts, oh well, I'm not gonna keep going through it over and over. Or I'm not gonna, I don't know. Yeah, I was just done. It was just too much. So I probably missed some parts that were supposed to be edited out. Maybe didn't add in parts that I should have had in. But I'm telling you, if I didn't, like I said, I would be doing it and then it would crash and I didn't have time to save. I didn't save it at that moment, and then I'd have to redo that part, but then I didn't even know where it didn't save from. So I had to try to guess, and you know, to be able to have to go back and try to watch it all over. Like, okay, so where did that save from? So I have to watch a whole part over again, like 100 different times because I don't know where it saved from. Oh my gosh. I can't really explain what I'm talking about, but it's just, I'm done. I don't even want to put any more time into it because I just don't want to put any more time into it. It's just, I could be doing other important stuff, you know, other important videos, and to keep trying to go back to this video. I don't know why it's crashing. I don't know. It's on my new computer too. I don't know why it keeps doing this. It should be a better computer. It should be better than my other one. So I don't know. But I'm done, guys. So I hope it's not too bad. All right, here it is. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Okay, so today I thought I would do a recorded video, although I did debate, and I'm still debating whether this would be a better live, if I could at least, I'd have to really work on keeping it organized, but it might make for a better live, but I'm going to try this. The only reason I'm saying it might make for a better live, in case you guys have questions as I'm going, if I'm not, sometimes I'm not able to know what maybe that you guys aren't understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like in a live, at least I could get some feedback in the moment, because this is kind of complicated and I'm not 100% sure on all the information in this router info. I'm going to go over the router info actually of Chris Watts' router information, the router logs basically. So yeah, I'm going to go over Chris's router log. And the reason I'm going over this, we've already talked about this last year, but a lot of people have been asking me about it recently. It must be something that people are talking about in groups, and I keep forgetting that there are a lot of new people, so I figured I'm just going to go back to square one here, because I can't assume that you guys will go back and watch all my videos. I have almost 200 videos on just the Watts case, where we actually dissected and analyzed the discovery. So I figured maybe I'm thinking about like rehashing some of the stuff we've already talked about for some of these new people. So those of you who hopefully that have already seen it won't get bored. It'll just be kind of a refresher course. But I have been getting a lot of questions about this router information, and it's crazy. It's actually, this router log is the last thing I left off of. It was about a year ago, And that was like one of the last videos that I made when I basically stopped covering it. That and I think the morning video, the jeans video one, but it was one of the last parts of the discovery that we discussed before I took a break, took a break from covering it. But it is complicated, and I'm not a computer expert by no means. So I only understand what I understand. And there's few things that I want to first get out there, because I learned from my mistake. I had went through this. I mean, I had spent, me and my old mod, we spent hours going through this router and trying to break down what everything was, trying to look up what everything means. And I put together a video. I spent so many hours. I put together this video I was proud of. Come to find out that the log is 2 hours off. I didn't see this part in the part of the discovery that says there's a discrepancy. I mean, it's only one sentence. If you miss it, you're screwed. But basically, there's a discrepancy of 2 hours. So, oh my gosh, I felt it was horrible to realize after I had uploaded it, and I was getting comments, and I was like, oh my God, I had to actually take it off because I was wrong. I didn't know that there was a discrepancy of 2 hours. So everything that I was figuring out was 2 hours off. So let me show you actually in the discovery where you see that. So those of you that are starting to go through it and want to kind of analyze it yourself, that you know about this 2 hour discrepancy. Okay, so let me show you where that's at real quick in the discovery, and then we'll go through this. Okay, first of all, I want to go over Greenwich Mean Time, which is something that all of the police body cams use, which, believe me, it was a headache, because before I realized that, you know, I realized it when I was trying to go through the text and match them up with Chris that day, that Monday, when the police get there, and when he's looking on his phone, I was trying to match up some of his text with the time, because, you know, you see the time up there, and I thought it was just military time, and it wasn't matching up. And I was able to calculate that it was 6 hours off, but I was like, I didn't understand why. And then I learned that the police body cams are on Greenwich Mean Time, which during Mountain Standard Time, it's a 7 hour difference. And during Mountain Daylight Time, it's 6 hours. So when this happened, it was Mountain Daylight Time. So it was actually 6 hours difference. And I'll show you here. So just know that, though. For when you watch the police body cams, you have to, it's act like it's military time, but subtract 6. So basically, let's say it says 20, right? That means it would be 8 o'clock, right? And if you're doing military time, well, you subtract 6 from that. So that means it's 2 o'clock. Or you could subtract the 6 first before you calculate the time. So I would actually subtract first instead. So I'm going to show you a different way. Sorry, don't mean to confuse you. I mean, you could do it either way, get the same answer, but I feel like this way is probably a better way to do it. Subtract the 6 before you calculate the time. So here, I'll show you. Okay, so if it's 2000 hours on the police body cam, if it's Greenwich Mountain Time, basically, which we know the police body cam is, so it says 2000 hours, and we know it's Mountain Daylight Time because it's in August in Colorado, so that's police body cam is Mountain Daylight Time, so you subtract 6, so 20 minus 6 is 1400 hours, and 1400 hours is 2 p.m. Now, if you're on Pacific time, you subtract 8. If you're on Mountain Standard Time, you subtract 7. If you're on Mountain Daylight Time, you subtract 6. And if you're on the Eastern Time, see, I'll show you. Eastern Time right here, I'm on the Eastern Time, but it depends if it's Eastern Daylight Time or, let's see here. Eastern Time is 5 hours behind, and Eastern during the winter months is 4 hours behind, and during the summer months it's 5 hours behind. But we don't even need to know about Eastern. We just need to know about Mountain Standard Time because that's what Colorado is on. So just so you guys know, when you're looking through the body cam footage of any police body cams, they all use Greenwich Mean Time. Okay, so that's that. And then as far as for the router log, the only reason I'm going over this is they calculate that all in, but when it's explaining it in the discovery, so it makes sense what it's saying. I'll show you here. Where is it at? Discovery. Oh, wait, I had it. So the discovery, here's where it says it right here. Let me zoom in a little bit. So this is about the router logs. Okay, so it says writer navigated to advanced security schedule and determined the Netgear N900 had a time zone set for GMT -8. So remember, I said Pacific time is Greenwich Mean Time -8. So the router was set for Pacific time, but Colorado isn't in Pacific time. At the time, it was in Mountain Daylight Time in August when this happened, which would be Greenwich Mean Time -6. So since it was set in Pacific time, all the times are going to show the -8. So basically it's shown Pacific time basically on the router logs. But I just don't want you to get confused because the actual body cam, which we'll go over, I'm going to use some of it as sources, but the body cam footage, the police body cam, they don't have that calculator. So what you see is the Greenwich Mean Time. So you have to calculate the -8 and stuff, or -6 for the Mountain Daylight Time. But what they're saying here is they already calculated the mean time, or the Greenwich Mean Time -8, and that's what the router calculated, but that's Pacific time. So it's Mountain Daylight Time, so it's supposed to be -6. So basically we have to add 2 hours to all the times, if that makes sense. Don't worry, I did all the work for you. I spent hours actually. It took me a while to go through all this and list it all out. I'll show you. But I put the time, the Pacific time, the time that it says, and then the yellow, I'll show you here. I did it. Okay, so where is it? Right here. So here, I'll show you. So this right here, I put the time that it actually says, well, in military time. So I'll give you a better example. So like, because you know 7:26 hours is 7:26 a.m. But this, so let me give you a better example here. Because, so for instance, 1446, right? Which is 2:46. You know, when you're just doing straight up military time, it would be 2:46. But you have to add 2 hours, so it's 4:46. So the actual time, the real time, it's going to be right here, the yellow. I highlighted it. And the reason I even added this is because I went through and put all the times that it said, and then I went through and then I added the 2. So just look at the yellow. That's the proper time, okay? This is the Pacific time. This is the actual Mountain time. This is what time zone we're in, okay? So just so you know, I hope a lot of you guys didn't do what I did and already went through the router information and you're off by the 2 hours, because then you have to go back and go through it all and rethink of what, because you basically going through this, you're just trying to figure out what's what, because some things are unknown. So you're trying to like put it together with parts of the video and just trying to figure out what's what, whose phone is what and stuff. And when you're 2 hours off, then, you know, you could have this big theory on what you think everything is. Then you find out like, whoa, it's 2 hours off. So you got to kind of like rethink everything. There's some things that are listed here. I'll show you. So this is what everything is. Not everything. There's a lot of things in there that aren't on the log, but it shows you some of the stuff, like it shows you Chris's Apple Watch, Shannon's iPad. At least it gives you the IP address and the MAC address. Hold on, So you have an IP address and then you have the MAC address. And I'm not going to pretend I understand this completely, but I'll give you parts that I kind of understand and parts that I think is how it is. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I feel like I got the general gist of it, but maybe certain technical specifics I might not understand, but I'm not going to pretend that I understand them and try to figure it out that deep, if that makes sense. So the MAC address is a unique identifier assigned to a network interface controller for use as a network address in communications with network segment. So I'm not going to pretend I understand how that all works, but I just know you have the MAC address and then you have the IP address, and it shows you. So it shows you, you know, the IP, the MAC, and then what it is. At least some of them, it'll show you the wired devices and the wireless. So basically, you probably all understand what that is. And ones that are connected to a wire, basically plugged in. You know, sometimes I'll have my laptop on wireless. Sometimes I have it on an Ethernet. So basically hardlined, wired, however you want to look at it. And then, yeah, the wireless devices. So we have a lot of unknowns here. And then you'll see a lot in the logs that aren't even on here. So, but yeah, these are what, at least we for sure know what they are, is the Chris's Apple Watch, Shanann's iPad, Apple TV. I believe this HP D07 is I believe it's a HP laptop is what I'm I'm guessing. So that's not 100%, but that's what I'm guessing from the knowledge that I do have, which isn't a ton on computers, but if anybody else knows otherwise, let me know if you guys could figure that out. But, and then we have DirecTV, and then the admin user, and then Cisco, which I looked up Cisco, and that looks like it has something to do with the router. Where do I have it? Like, when you look up Cisco, as far as like a device name, because that was under the device name, it looks like, let's see, I feel like it has something to do with the router and the, I don't know, maybe somebody could kind of fill me in on the specifics, but as far as what I'm trying to figure out, I don't think that that's too important that I know exactly. I feel like I kind of know that it has something to do with the router and the modem probably, but as far as specifically, I don't know. But I'm more concerned about, to be honest, what these other specific things are, because that isn't like a specific, like, for instance, it's not like Shanann cell phone or maybe NKs or NAs or anything like that. That's something to do with the hookup of the whole system, like the router, yeah, I think it has something to do with like the main setup, which for what we're trying to learn about the case, that really, I don't feel like that's hugely important, but let me know if anybody has that information. So yeah, let's go from here. So I have what it is. We got to click on it because some of them have a little drop down here. And we'll go through it. And then I'm going to link some videos up for some things. Okay, so what I did was I made these little sticky notes for each one. I'm trying to think what the best way to go about it is. Because what I did was I followed each one throughout the days to see what times it did what, and to see if there are any patterns and what the patterns were. But I'm still not sure what the logs, the events, basically the different logs mean. Well, some of them I could actually make sense of, but then others I'm not quite sure. So maybe you guys could help me out in that aspect, some of you computer technicians. I think it's either updating, like a lot of them are updates that it's doing, or when your device is connecting to the router. I think that's really what it's doing when it makes some kind of connection, when it does something, whether you leave the area and then you come back in the service area so it's connecting, or whether it's updating your device. So I think when there's different events is when this is logged, basically. Well, yeah, duh, you guys probably are aware of that, just different events. So what I did was I went to each specific device and tracked it throughout the couple days that it gives us the logs, and to see and to be able to try. So it helped me try to figure out, okay, so Shanann's phone, for instance, we know we wouldn't see it Sunday. We know we wouldn't see it till Sunday, basically Monday morning when she got home. So I was looking for something that would connect about 1:48 a.m. on Monday morning, when we know that she got home. Then that there's a good chance that could be Shanann's phone. Now, if we could get a second one that we know a certain time that matches up with the same phone and a same time, or we know it should be Shanann's phone, and we have two of them like that, then we could make a educated guess that must be Shanann's phone, right? And then for Chris's, I used I'm not sure about Chris's, but it's a guess. It's an educated guess from what I see, the logs, but I can't say I'm 100% right, but it's my best educated guess. And I'll show you how I went about that, but kind of the different times that it connected. But the main thing was I looked for what time he got home on Monday that we know for sure that's on camera, when his two phones would have connected when he got home, when the cops were waiting for him. And I saw what time that was. And then around that time is when his phone should connect, right? So what I calculated from that the two things that connected at that time must be Chris's two phones. And then I used the one that looked like it had a lot more, especially on Monday, a lot more things going on, would be his personal phone because of the times. I'll show you. And then another thing that I was able to conclude that Shanann's phones were hers is when you could see on the video at what time they find her phone and it turns on. And then you should be able to see that connect into the router. So you should see an event at that time and it all matches up. So I think best educated guess, I think I'm right on it because of that information we have from the video. Okay. So I don't know if I should just do one at a time and follow it up to show you. So we have 116. That's Chris's Apple Watch. Now that one has so many accounts that, like, for instance, Sunday at 9:26 a.m. is we only have the router log basically from Sunday morning to Wednesday evening. So we have 9:26 a.m. So we could just follow it all the way up. Another 9:26 a.m. So Sunday, that was Sunday morning. As you could see, I'll just follow this one up. It's the one. I'll click on all the ones that are the Apple Watch, okay? Real quick, I did find another spot in the discovery where it talks about the 2-hour discrepancy too. So here's another part on page 467. The first time they talk about it is on 338, the one I already showed you, and then here's another part where they talk about the 2-hour difference. It says, during the search, I was advised that FBI agent Tori Smith was responding to the residents to assist in downloading the contents of the router in the residence. Special Agent Smith arrived and connected to the router with his laptop. Special Agent Smith took screenshots documenting his connection to the router in the router settings. It should be noted that the router time was set to GMT -8, which is Pacific time, and so there is a 2-hour discrepancy with local time. So that's what we're going to be doing, is where you have to add 2 hours to all the times, because it's Mountain Daylight Time, which it should be GMT -6. So since it's all -8, you have to add 2 hours. So just wanted to show you that it's actually in there 2 different times. Okay, so let's go back to the router stuff. Okay, so instead of like making you dizzy scrolling up through all this stuff, well, here, let me just do it real quick. I'll show you everything and then I'll go one by one here. So we have Chris's Apple Watch is right here. I matched them all up, but to hurry up and look through it real quick to know what's what, you could either look to the side, but see, these are some of them aren't directly across from, you'll have to see where they match up. You'll see. Okay, so I look at the 1.16 when I just have to hurry up and try to look at what I'm looking at. So the 1.16 one, so these 4 right here are all Chris's Apple Watch. And then this one is what I believe is Chris's work phone, his work cell, the IP address ending in 1.5, or you could look at the MAC address, but I feel like just looking at this last number is the easiest. But don't worry, I matched all the numbers up. They all do match, but just for reference to look at these to try to find them real quick. Okay, so 1.5 I believe is Chris's cell, his work cell. So, and if anybody thinks differently, let me know and we'll chat about it. And then the HP, which this is in that's what it is. The device name is HPD07448, which I believe is actually, is a HP laptop. I'll just put it like, well, let me make it, hold on a second. Yeah, I believe it's an HP laptop. That's just my guess, because I do believe it's a laptop, and the fact that it's the device and it starts with HP makes me think it's a HP laptop. Okay, real quick, I just wanted to also mention that the HP could possibly be a printer too. Could be a HP printer. Not sure. So if anybody could let me know. The reason, at first I was thinking laptop, but then it's wireless. I mean, I know laptops are wireless too, but I'm not sure. But I think it's an HP product of some sort, whether it be a printer or a laptop. Okay, so I went and I did a little bit more researching on some of the digital stuff that they collected in the discovery. So maybe the device that begins with a HP that I originally thought was a HP product, I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not, and it just begins with a HP, because when I went back on the devices collected, there's no HP laptop. So I don't know. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Maybe you guys could help me out with that. But this is what they do have, at least what they collected. So they have the 2 Apple Watches. So one of these things might be actually Shanann's Apple Watch, because the only one that's listed that they know, at least that's listed what it is Chris's Apple Watch. So we still have Shanann somewhere in there, that one of those devices I'm sure is Shanann's Apple Watch. And then the iPad, which that's in there. And then there's the Echo from the kitchen, so that could be one of the devices. This wireless dual band gigabyte router. I think that's the Cisco. I don't know if that's the Cisco one, or if that would even show up as a device. Since we're looking at the router log, it might not necessarily, the router might not necessarily show up as a device like that. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not no technology expert or computer expert, but I'm doing the best I can with the information I have, and then I'm hoping maybe you guys could fill me in and where I'm lacking. But yeah, so and then there's a Dell laptop, and even the baby monitor, 2 cameras, that could be hooked to the router, maybe, possibly. And then of course you have the Vivint, but I don't see any of the Vivint notifications on the log for some reason. So, but yeah, it looks like Chris's work computer is the Dell laptop, but maybe Shanann has a HP laptop. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't have been collected, but maybe she has one for work, unless if she just uses the iPad. I'm not sure, but I just wanted to correct myself, because I'm not so sure if the HP, the device starting with HP, if it necessarily is for sure an HP product. Okay, so let's go back to the router log and finish going through the devices. And then 1.8, this is actually in there. So it says Shanann's iPad. So that's Shanann's iPad. And like I said, we'll go through all these in the times, but let me just show you what's in the log first. 1.6, I believe this is Chris's personal cell. So as far as Chris's personal cell and Chris's work cell and Shanann's cell phone, those are just my best educated guesses from the times and stuff, okay? Let's see. This 1.32, I have no idea what it is. Still don't know. And then this says it's a wired. It's on here. So it's right here, which is something plugged in, but it's unknown. These are the ones plugged in, basically. So it's unknown. And then this one is also wired unknown. So let me see, that's 1.7. So yeah, it's right here, but it's unknown, so I don't know. And then, I mean, these could be anything from like the Vivint security system, which none of the notifications mark. There's not, like, it doesn't match the times, so it must not show up in this log for some reason. As far as the Vivint notifications and stuff in the Ring, as far as from the times we know. And then what else? It could be printers, laptops. Well, we know the iPad and the cell phones, and what else would it be? I don't know what else, but there are some unknown ones. Okay, so we have DirecTV. Yeah, DirecTV, Apple TV, but those ones are actually listed. So this one is DirecTV, 1.4. And then this is that Cisco, which I think is just the router, or something to do with the router and modem or something, because it comes up like a router information when I type in Cisco. And then 1.9. Oh, this is wireless unknown. So this actually comes up on the wireless unknown. It says it is the wireless, but unknown. So I don't know what that is. I wonder even if the baby cam or baby monitor is hooked up to the router. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of everything they possibly could have. But with technology these days, there's so many things, I bet, that help me figure them out, guys, if you guys could think anything. This 1.110, I don't know what this is. I'm not sure what that is. This one is the Apple TV. This is Chris. This is what I think is Chris' personal cell. Well, let me just go through them a little bit quick and just tell you what we're working with here. So we have some unknowns. We have, I think, a laptop, the Chris's personal cell, his Apple Watch, Shanann's phone, what I believe to be Shanann's phone. We got DirecTV, I think the router, something to do with the router. We have Shanann's iPad and DirecTV events, which I think is maybe when they just recorded things from the DVR maybe. And as far as, that's about all we have. and then we'll go through them off, and I'll tell you what I think. And I feel like there's not a ton of really important stuff that at least I was able to get from this, as far as the help with the case, because some of the unknowns, unless we could figure out what the unknowns are, but there's no way we could figure it out unless somebody gives us more information. So the unknowns from what is known and what we could try to figure out, I mean, it's all stuff we already know, you know? So as far as trying to figure out anything new from this information, I feel like no, unless if they give us a little bit more information on some of these unknowns, or else there's really nothing too much to learn from it. But there's some interesting parts that you could kind of see some things. Okay, so and then the only other one that we haven't talked about is where is it? It's way up here. It's just, come on. Just the admin user, and it's just that only comes into play at the very end, which I don't know if, because this would have been Chris, you know, Wednesday. Wait a minute, Chris, what the heck? Because Chris was over. That's weird. Because if you think about it, Wednesday morning, unless if he stopped home, because he stayed at, remember his friend's house? Stayed at the Thayers. Remember, he stayed the night and then he went and picked up his dad from the airport. Unless if he came home. But what would have set this off? Because this is the only time you see it is right here on Wednesday. Basically Wednesday morning. So is that some automatic thing that happens? Or would he have had to been there? And if that's the case, did he stop home in between? I wasn't aware. I thought he just went from the Thayers to pick up his dad, but maybe he stopped home and messed with something. I don't know, guys, but let me know if you know the admin user. Why would that have only came up on this 4 different times on that day? And remember, this is before he confessed, so it's not like that the law enforcement were going through all his stuff yet, his digital stuff, I don't think. As far as that, I don't know. Let me know, guys. Okay, so let's go through each one singly. So first we have the Apple Watch. I'm not going to make you dizzy and keep going up and down, but I'll just kind of read on some of them. So the Apple Watch, we have Sunday. So we know the Apple Watch, you could get texts and stuff. I think you could do just about everything with the Apple Watch, right? You could get your text, I looked up what the Apple Watch can do. Okay, so it's the Apple Watch 3 series. And I looked up what the Apple Watch 3, because in 2018, that was what series was out, was the Apple Watch 3. So as far as the one that we know for sure that's Chris's, because it's listed out, I looked about what the Apple Watch 3, what some of the functions were. It said it could make calls. Well, even when the paired iPhone is not even nearby. So it's a GPS, obviously, and then it can be used to send and receive text, to make and receive calls when your phone is nearby and connected to a cell network, and potentially also under other certain circumstances. Yeah, so, I mean, basically the one thing I was seeing, was making a remark about is the fact that it can send and receive text, or send and receive calls, or make and receive calls, I should say. And then it does, like, all the health app, like record your steps and your heart and your, yeah, it has the fitness tracker and stuff. So I don't know how far in depth we need to go into all the functions, but it's of course it has a GPS and heart rate sensor, stuff like that, which I went over the fitness tracker for Shanann's and Chris's, but I think that was it also tracks from your phone, which I talk about too. So yeah, so the Apple Watch 3, yep, you can send and receive text, and you can make and receive calls. There's like as long as your phone is paired, and depending on the Wi-Fi, sometimes there's certain situations where it says that you don't even need to be with your phone. As long as your phone was connected to that Wi-Fi at one point, you could possibly still be able to make calls even if you're not with your phone. Apple Watch Series 3 with cell allows them to stay connected, make calls, receive texts, and more, even without phone nearby. So it's an amazing health and fitness companion with intelligent coaching features, water resistant. So it comes with 2 models with GPS and 1 cellular. So this is the model. I don't know which kind they have. It just says that it's model series 3. So yeah, it has the heart rate measurements, workout, recovery, walking, and breathe sessions. So it could stream music. So yeah, I could do a bunch of stuff. Gosh, I should have them sponsor me here. Promoting them. But basically, yeah, so you could receive and make calls and receive in text. So I just wanted to point that out. Okay, so I just want to show you like kind of a timeline on some things here. You might ask, well, what does this have to do with the router log information? But it kind of does, because it'll help us figure out what some of these devices could be if we know his timeline, when he's home, when he's not, when he leaves. Because if he leaves and then comes back home in the area, then we should expect to see maybe some devices make logs because they're coming back into the service area. And just to give a better timeline of how these days looked for Chris, where he was, where were the kids and stuff like that. So when we look at the router information, it could possibly help. So that's what hopefully you guys maybe will catch on to something and fill me in and let me know if you guys see anything more than what I'm showing you guys, because I still don't have all the pieces. I still don't know what a lot of the devices are. So I'm hoping by sharing the timeline with you, it'll help you be one step closer to trying to figure out maybe what some of these devices are. Shoot, I keep hitting the mic thing and it makes a noise. Okay, so I just want to go between Chris and NK's messages. So okay, so the first one I want to bring up is, well, the first one between him and Chris, or between her and Chris, is at 12:24, and we know from the Discovery, at least Chris's account, he says that basically him and the girls this is Sunday, sometime Sunday morning, it would have been, that he and the girls went to Target to get the birthday present for the birthday party that they were going to that day. So that had to have been sometime before 12:30, obviously. And then he says basically the girls took a nap, and then at 12:30 is when he woke them up from the nap. And then shortly after that, he headed to the party because he said he was at Jeremy's house at 1:15. So in order for him to have gotten to Jeremy's house at 1:15, he probably left shortly after he woke them up from a nap. I'm not sure how far away Jeremy's house is from Chris's, but I'm sure he woke the kids up, and shortly after he headed on the road and went to Jeremy's, and then he stayed until about 4:30 or 5. So with that information, we could kind of go back to the text between Chris and NK and see kind of where he was at during the day compared to like when he was sending the text, basically. So okay, so 12:24. So this would have been right before he woke the girls up. If he was accurate down to the minute of his estimation, this would have been before he woke them up. So it says, so they have the Dead Sea Scrolls at the museum, but it's sold out. And then the next one is at 12:45. So this must have been like after he woke the kids up and right before he probably got on the road to head to the birthday party. So she says, no, you can't buy the scrolls. LOL, dude, the Dead Sea Scrolls are, and then it continues up here, some of the oldest, most important writing in the world. So that was at 12:45. So like I said, that was right before he headed to the birthday party, it looks like. And then there's this weird, I don't know, is it just a butt dial or coded text? I don't know what it is, but for a butt dial, the reason I don't think these are all butt dials is because there's a bunch of them throughout these texts all around the same time. But anyway, so yeah, this is at 12:45 too. So this is probably before he got on the road. And then the next one that are between her and Chris are, so we have these ones right here. So this is at 1:17. So this is probably right after he actually gets to the birthday party. Because if you remember, he says that they stayed at Jeremy's house from 1:15 to around 4:30 or 5. So it would have been like right after he got to the party. He's texting her or she's texting him. Like, so right after Chris gets to the party, there's a bunch of weird messages between him and NK. Whatever those mean, I don't know, guys. What do you guys think? I know we went through these on a live before, but for like just a mistake butt dial, it seems like there's too many of them. So we got 12. So that's 117. Okay, and then there's another one at 117. Okay, and then we have one at 122. So remember, this is after he's at the party already. Got more. And then we have 143. And then there's actually, look at all this. 143. So here's the other ones that are between her and Chris. Okay, so this would be what? So this would be at 3:14 p.m. So he was still at the party, birthday party. He says, "Nice. That sounds like a good time. I haven't seen an IMAX in a while. Sounds like you're having a fun day with the folks. I'm still at the birthday party. Kids are soaked from water balloons." Okay, so I just wanted to show you kind of some of the texts. So that means he did have his phone with him, or he just had his Apple Watch. But I'm sure he would have had his work phone with him, or his cell phone. But I don't understand. So when he gets, this part doesn't make sense, because you'll see when he would be getting home around 4:30 or 5, wouldn't his cell phone reconnect to the service area? Unless if he just keeps it on the data, I don't know, and then he connects it to the Wi-Fi later. And this why something doesn't make sense here, because some of these are, you would think on the router logs, right? When we go back to the router information, if you go back to the router logs, you would think that when he gets home around 4:30 or 5, we would see a device entering the service area and it would make a log. But there's no device that shows that time of him returning home, and it basically going back into his cell phone, if he has a cell phone or his work phone or both phones or whatever, or even his Apple Watch. So if you're thinking, okay, well, maybe he just had his Apple Watch, well, we know what IP and MAC address the Apple Watch is. So the Apple Watch doesn't go log back into the service area when he gets home. So I really do think he has his phone. He was texting NK from the party, so he has his phone. Why did that not log into the service area when he got home? Why didn't it make a log? Going back home and reconnecting to the router. But yet when he gets home from work that day at 2:07, we see both of his phones connecting that day to the Wi-Fi, to the router. But why not when he gets home from the party do we see it connecting? I don't get it. So that's interesting. I don't know if he had it. Maybe he had his phone. Maybe he switched his phone onto data because he knew the plan that later that night. So he switched his cell phone onto cell phone data only and not onto the router, so it wouldn't connect when he got home. For some reason, because maybe he wanted to hide the time that he got home. But wait a minute, if he wanted to hide the time he got home, then that means he didn't get home at 4:30 or 5 the time he said. So hold on a second. I gotta reevaluate this here. Maybe I'm looking at this all wrong, because I was thinking, oh, he kept it on phone data to hide the time because it doesn't show up at 4:30 or 5. Okay, so let's look at what device is connected around the time he said he got home, around 4:30 or 5. And we're going to go through each one individually, but now that we're just talking about Sunday and what time he got to the party, I mean, you see two things that could be around the time that he would get home. But both of these things, if I look at all their other activities through the rest of the days, they don't match up. I mean, there's barely anything. And I mean, I'll go through them, but the ones that match that, yeah, it matches up for this. But all the other ones, I mean, it doesn't even look like these could be his cell phone or his work phone, because just all the other times are just off and there's barely any activity. So I would be more willing to think that the ones that maybe don't match up on this time but match up more on the other stuff, because there's more matches. I know I'm probably not making much sense. There's more matches on all the other stuff on these other two that I think are the two phones, his cell phone, his work phone, than just one match on the time he gets home from the party, and then nothing else on anything else makes sense. So I would make a better guess that it's these other ones that match up on more of the other things. And for some reason, this day, when he should have been reconnecting to the router, it's not showing up. His thing, the two that I think are his phones. So we know he probably for sure had his personal phone because he was texting NK. So basically what I'm thinking is these two devices here, the 1.9 and 1.10, which are around the same time where he should have been getting home, or that he said he got home from the birthday party. I do not believe that these are Chris's cell phone or his work phone. Okay? It's something else that was already in the house probably, and it's just a coincidence it was kind of around the time that he may have gotten home. If he did really get home, at least that he said the time that he got home. But what I'm thinking is the two devices that I do think is his cell phone and his phone, his work phone and his cell phone, which I will show you when we go through them separately, they aren't here. Right here. It's not these two devices. And the reason I don't think it's these two devices is because they don't match up to all the other occurrences that I've matched up on these other two devices that I believe are his cell phone and work phone. And so what that tells me is why. And my point is it because he lied about what time he got home and he didn't get home at that time? Or did he turn his wireless setting off for some reason Sunday? I don't know. So when he got home, it didn't connect to the wireless and he had it on his phone data. And yeah, he could have been using his Apple Watch, but chances are if he left his Apple Watch or if he left his phone at home, then they do say there's a way that you could use your Apple Watch and text without your phone, but you would have had to have been connected to the Wi-Fi previous. I don't know. I just don't think I think he would have had his phone with him. And plus, we don't see the Apple Watch reconnecting. And we know what device the Apple Watch is because it's one of the ones that is known that's listed. So none of these are the Apple Watch. So still, whether he had the Apple Watch with him or not, that's not showing up either as connecting when he got home. So maybe he didn't get home when he said. Okay, so I had to go back to the discovery to see when was it that Shanann's parents talked to the girls. Remember they FaceTime sometime Sunday. I wasn't sure if it was before the party or after. I remember them saying that they were eating cold pizza, but that one part we just read from the discovery, it said that they ate cold pizza basically before the party too. So, but after going through the discovery, it shows that they eat it after, and it is after that they talked to Shanann's parents. So he had to have gotten home before 9, because, well, let me read you the part of the discovery, then I'll explain the phone thing. We'll start from the party. They stayed at Jeremy's house from 1:15 until 4:30 or 5 p.m. He didn't know the party was going to have water balloons and a pool. He hadn't packed swimsuits or water shoes for the girls. Cece and Bella had a lot of fun playing in the water. He sent Shanann pictures and videos of the girls from the party. When they got home, he gave Bella and Cece a shower because they had sand on them. He got the girls out of the shower, dried them off, put lotion on them, and got their pajamas on. Cece had on a pink nightgown with a drawing of a bird on it and a nighttime diaper. Bella had on a multicolored nightgown that said believe or had a unicorn on it. The girls get hot at night, but they don't take off their pajamas. Chris explained sometimes the girls will remove pajama pants if they get hot at night. They went downstairs and the girls wanted more cold pizza for dinner. He FaceTimed Shanann's parents with the girls. Bella and Cece sat on their little couches and he got them snacks. He gave Cece vanilla wafers and Bella had some chips. The girls ended up swapping their snacks. He brushed the girls' teeth, had them use the potty, and put them in bed. The girls will lay in bed, but they don't normally get out of bed after their rain machines are on and the lights are out. Bella came out twice that time because she knew, like, Shanann was coming home. Bella came out of her room and asked if Shanann was home yet. He told Bella Shanann would be there when she woke up. Cece never came out of her room after he put her to bed. Isn't that so sad? Like, Bella came out a few times looking for Shanann. She was all excited because she knew her mom was coming home. And he tells her that she'll be there when she wakes up. But Bella never wakes up again. Well, I guess she does, because if Chris's story is true, how he did that twice to him. So she does wake up after her first nightmare of Chris smothering them. And then she wakes up into even a worse nightmare and then has to go through a... Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. But anyway, so this shows that he was home somewhat early enough to FaceTime Shanann's parents, because what I was thinking before I looked this up to know for sure when that FaceTime took place, if we're going by what I believe Chris's cell phone is, then one of the logs, well, it's at 12:15 p.m. Sunday, and then the next log isn't until 9 p.m. Sunday. So I was thinking, wow, what if he lied and he didn't get home till 9 p.m. Sunday? Because that's when there's a log, and that's when he got into the service area. So it wasn't 4:30 or 5, and so what was he doing until 9 p.m.? That's what was going through my head until I looked it up. Obviously, I'm sure they talked to Shanann's parents way before 9, right? Because, I mean, it would have been odd for the girls to probably be up that late, I'm guessing. So it probably was before 9. So there has to be another reason why there was no logs when he got home, rather than it be because he didn't get home till 9, because obviously I don't think that would have been that late that he talked to him. So do you see what I'm saying? There has to be some other reason. It could just be as simple as his Wi-Fi was turned off or something. I don't know if we'll ever find out, but maybe you guys could help me out with that, or I'm just trying to figure out everything. Okay, so now I'm going to go through each device separately and show you everything they do from Sunday to Wednesday and see if we could see any patterns or kind of make sense of what it's doing, okay? So, we're going to start off with the Apple Watch. Well, Chris's Apple Watch. That'll be our first device we're going to follow through the days, okay? So I'm going to list the log times for Chris's Apple Watch. 9:26 a.m., 9:26 a.m., 9:29 a.m. is sometimes it had events, whatever that means. But then it doesn't have any more Sunday until 5:39 a.m. on Monday. And then he has 2 that log at 5:41 a.m. on Monday. And then another one at 5:43 a.m. on Monday. So I want to show you his GPS to show you, as I'm going through some of these times and stuff, I want to show you other parts of the discovery to kind of show what's going on or where he's at or whatever it is that I'm trying to show you at that time. So hopefully I'm not confusing you, and it's not like I'm jumping from one thing to another. It all is a purpose. I mean, I'm showing you everything for a reason, because I want to show you this is when the log was, and then I'll show you something about what was going on, what else was going on at that time, or to match things up and stuff. So let me show you the GPS. So we know that he backed up his truck at 5:18 a.m. on Monday. So then he packed up his truck and he left on his way to Survey at 5:46. So you see these times, these login times. 5:43 was the last one on Monday. So did he have his Apple Watch with him at work that day? I don't know. We know the health app picked up some things, but that also is activated through his phone. So it could have just been because he had his phone with him, but he could have had his Apple Watch because the next log isn't until 2:35 p.m., which is almost a half hour after he gets home from work that day, because he gets home around 2:07. So what is it, 28 minutes after he gets home, his Apple Watch has another event. Another log. I don't know. Maybe he had it with him, but he doesn't have it on when he gets home, because I'll show you in the police body cam. You'll see he doesn't have a watch on. So maybe he took it off at work. Maybe he took it off on the drive home. Maybe he has it in his pocket when he comes home. I don't know. Let's take a look on the police body cam.
I'm here. Hang on. Yeah, keep me on the phone. Okay, get Matt on the phone.
Nope, I don't see it on that wrist. Let's keep looking. Okay, so we can see it's not on his right wrist. Let's see if we can see his left wrist.
Scott, how you doing?
And just for the heck of it, let's look at what's in his left hand. It looks like a garage door opener, a phone, and his keys.
How's it going? So this is the only vehicle she would have? Only one that she would drive. Okay.
That's me. Yeah. The neighbors went and checked his camera and said that I like charger the way it wanted. It was me though.
She got in a car wreck, and they believe that's what happened. But Imitrex is something she takes for migraine. She took more Imitrex this last month than she ever had before, but that's just because she was in North Carolina with the humidity and everything like that. She was there for 6 weeks, and we got back Monday or Tuesday, and then she flew out to Arizona Friday morning, and then she got back last night about 2 a.m. The flight got delayed. She left about 11. She got here at 2.
Okay.
And I went to work this morning about 5:15, 5:30.
What do you do?
I work at oil and gas in Darko.
What do you do for them?
Operator.
Long days then?
Yeah, I definitely still be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a long day, especially in that heat. There's no like off text messages unless
Can you look at your camera to see from your security system to see when she left?
it's unless they left out the front door.
Because you told me that she went on a play date with the girls, and then
That's what she told me.
Addie said you told her that
She went with some friends. She went to go to a friend's house with the kids. That's why I knew they weren't at school.
Addie said you told her that she left in the middle of the night.
Oh no, she didn't leave in the middle of the night. No.
Yeah.
Where do you kids go to school at?
Primrose and Vista Ridge.
Danny wants to talk to you.
Okay. Hey. Yeah. No. Yeah, she said she was at a friend's house. That's what she told me she was going to do.
Nicholas.
I have no clue at whatsoever why she wouldn't take her cell phone. No, it doesn't make any sense at all. She didn't leave out the front door, I can't see it. Well, yeah, I can look at that and see.
Okay, so he's not wearing it in the video. Okay, so let's go back to the router log. I don't know, but it does kind of look like timing that he could have had it at work. But if that's the case, then that would mean that he took it off and put it in his pocket, or, you know, when he came home, he either had it in his pocket or in the truck so nobody would see. And why would, I mean, it makes you wonder, well, why would he be trying to hide it? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If you think he did have it on and then just kind of put it in his pocket when he came home. But I'm just wondering if he thought, if he had it on, that he didn't want to be able to track him or something. I'd probably lean more towards he probably didn't have it on, but just the timing's weird that it didn't do anything until he would have been home. But anyway, so 2:35 Monday, 2:39 Monday, 3:06 Monday, 4:25 on Monday, 4:28 Monday, 4:41 Monday, and then I guess it's normal because then it stops and it doesn't do it again until 1:13 Tuesday. And that's all we have for the Tuesday. So, I mean, it took a lot of hours off for it didn't do anything, which I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, so what? What's the point here? There's no point. It's just kind of just going through what the router log and what it means and what's in there, basically. Just because people have been talking about it and wanting me to go through it. So it might not have any important stuff to solving the case, but I figured I'd go through it a little bit, and then maybe if anybody knows how to understand it a little bit better. Okay, so yeah, I didn't write all these times down because it was a big chunk of them. So basically on Tuesday you have 12:40. Well, so basically that'd be 2:41. So remember, military time 12:41 is basically 12:41 p.m. in the afternoon. So you add 2 hours because that discrepancy, because the router was set to the wrong time, Pacific time. So it'll be 2:41 p.m. At 2:51 p.m. it went off again, 2:55. That would be 1:03 added 2. So 3:03 p.m., 3:03 p.m., 3:13, 3:17, 4:30. So 4:29, I mean. I guarantee that I'm going to have people, this happened to me on the one when I was trying to explain the Greenwich Mean Time on the body cam, the police body cam. I had so many people calling me an idiot saying, oh my God, I can't believe you don't know how to read military time. It's like, I know how to read military time. I was trying to explain that it wasn't military time, that it was Greenwich Mean Time. If they still didn't get it, I'm like, aren't you watching it? That like the whole, at least half the video is trying to explain that. So it just shows you some people just like will watch like one little part and get confused or whatever. But I know how to do. I'll say it, but watch. I'll still have comments. Just watch. Yeah. So it's not military time. It's and this one's a little bit more confusing because, like I said, they had it on the wrong time zone, basically. So this one's a little bit more confusing because they have it on the wrong time zone, but I figured it out. Yeah, after hours of making that mistake before. Anyway, so that's the Apple Watch. Nothing really spectacular in that. So the next one we have is what I believe is Chris's work phone. So Chris's work phone has an event or whatever. See, I'm not even sure when it's a log. It means, like I said, I'm not even sure exactly everything it can mean. I know some of them looks like updates. Some are reconnecting like onto the Wi-Fi. And I don't know if that's basically all it is, or could there be something else it means when there's an event. So Chris's, I think it's his work phone. So 10:20 a.m. on Sunday. There's a log at 5:25 a.m. On Monday, there was a log. So that's 3 minutes before he heads out to Survey, because he basically pulls out of his driveway to go to Survey at 5:28 a.m. And this log is at 5:25 a.m. I don't know if it means anything, but I like to point out some of these connections here, or this time similarities, I should say. And then this is one of the key factors how I determined Chris's cell phone and his work phone, because at 2:07 Monday, 2:07 p.m. there's a log, which there should be a log. This is how I figured it out. He gets home. Let me show you the part of the video where he gets home, so you'll be able to see the time, and that's how I kind of helped me determine. So this is how it helped me determine where Chris's cell phone and his work phone is, because we know that his phones should at least make a log as he comes home, because he has both of his phones with him. So when he comes into the service area, his cell phone, as long as they're on, both of his cell phones should make a connection to the router, and it should show a log. So I look for a log around this time, because usually it's an automatic thing that happens. I looked for a log around 2007, which is actually 2:07 p.m. because remember, this is Greenwich Mean Time, and it's Mountain Daylight Time in August in Colorado. It's Mountain Daylight Time, so you subtract 6, so it's actually 2:07 p.m. when he gets home. The only two devices on the logs that are around 2:07, with a log around 2:07, are the two IP addresses that one I've made an educated guess that it was his work phone, and then one was his personal phone. So you see 2:07, he's getting home, right? Okay. Okay, so remember, this is Greenwich Mean Time, so you take -6 because it's Mountain Daylight Time. So let's see, this 20 minus 6 is 14, and 14 in military time is 2. So it's 2:07, 2:08, he gets in the area. Okay, so let's go back to find Monday at 2:07 or 2:08, what devices they could possibly be. If it's two cell phones are on, they would make a connection. Most likely, I mean, like I say, this is my best educated guess from the information I have. Of course, you could have extenuating factors or circumstances where he doesn't have his cell phone on, or he doesn't have the wireless button on, and he's just using his data. Because so there could always be things like that. But from my best educated guess, that at 2:07 there are two devices, so it kind of makes sense that these would be his two cell phones. Okay, so let's find it. So we know this one is just the router, or something to do with the router, but we have two of them, right? 2:07 and 2:08. So I made an educated guess that the one IP address ending in 1.5 has the MAC address of this, is Chris's work cell, and then this one is Chris's personal cell. And the reason is, I'll show you here why I think, I mean, I could be wrong, let me know what you guys think. But okay, so the one that I feel that is his work phone is, like I said, on Sunday it has a log at 10:20 a.m. and then it has one at 5:25 a.m. on Monday, which that would be 3 minutes before he leaves and heads out to Survey Monday morning. And then 2:07 p.m. on Monday, this is when he got home, like I just showed you. So this is when he's getting into the service area, coming home, and his phone would automatically connect, most likely. And then the next one is at 5 a.m. So basically, there's no other logs because he probably has his work phone at the house, so it doesn't leave the service area, doesn't have to come back in and connect or make any other logs. With his cell phone, he's back and forth, he goes to Nate's, he's walking around, he's going here, going there, you know, he's kind of back and forth, so it would probably have more events and more logs as he's going in and out of the service area, my guess would be. So, you know, when he first comes home at 2:07, it has an event, but then there's no event until the next morning at 5 a.m. So I don't know if that's when he ends up, well, I don't know. I mean, maybe he had his phone off, turned it on, or maybe it did an update or whatever it means. And then on Tuesday at 1:12, it had another event, another log, whatever that means. And that's it for his, what I believe to be his work phone. And then his cell, we have 12:15 Sunday, which would have been Sunday afternoon. Maybe that would have been right before he went to the party. Because remember, all these logs means that device has to be in the service area of the house. So when he's at work or somewhere else, it should not be, there should be no logs for that device if he has the device with him away from the house. Okay, so let's go to Chris's personal cell phone. So we have Sunday, 12:15 p.m. Then we have 9 p.m. The next thing after the Sunday at 12:15 p.m., which I would guess maybe that was right before he went to the birthday party. And then he goes to the birthday party, and for some reason, the next log isn't until 9 p.m. And we know NK's and his 111-minute conversation starts at 9:28 p.m. So I'm guessing maybe he plugs his phone into charge maybe at 9 p.m. Maybe that creates an event, because then there's 2 events at 9 p.m. And this is why I think this, because it shows up 2 times at 9 p.m. So I'm thinking one of them is just a log, and the other one maybe because he plugs his phone into the computer to charge, maybe because then he has the 111-minute conversation, which would end at, I think it was 11:19 that it would have ended, if I'm remembering right. If it started at 9:28, it was 111 minutes. I think it would be 11:18 p.m. it would end. I'm just going from memory, so I'm winging it here. I think I'm remembering right. So 11:18 p.m., the conversation ends. Well, actually, here, I could just bring it up. I know, I just bring it up. Let's just bring it up real quick. Okay. So the 111 conversation is at 9:28 p.m. Okay. And then 111 minutes, that'd be what? So an hour and 51 minutes. Basically, an hour and 51 minutes. 9 minutes short of 2 hours. So it would end at 11:19. So 11:19 is when the conversation. Down to the minute, 11:19. Oh yeah, I was right. I remembered right. Yay. My memory isn't as bad as I thought. No, it's not too bad. It's just not as good as it used to be, but I feel like I still have a pretty good memory for some things. So think about this. 11:19, the conversation ends, and then there's an event on his cell phone, 2 events, 2 logs basically at 11:20. So as soon as the conversation ends, there's 2 events, which I think maybe his phone, I mean, that's 2 hours of talking. Maybe his phone was getting low on batteries and he plugged it into the computer to charge, maybe. Or maybe he was having an event because she sent him some pictures, maybe. And he was, because there's 2 events, so maybe one of them is plugging his phone in, maybe one is saving pictures. I don't know. Somebody correct me if I'm not looking at this right. I feel like that I am possibly right on this being his cell phone, because of the timing matches up with, it makes sense after a phone call, maybe like 1 minute after, there's 2 events, 2 logs that could have something to do with the phone call. Okay, so let me actually show you that. I'll show you it on here. That would be Sunday at 11:20. So we see that the phone conversation would have ended at 11:19 after 111 minutes. If it started at 9:28, it would end at 11:19. So let's find the one that's Sunday 11:20. So here we go. See, it's 2 of them. Have this and then this one. So it's basically these 2 right here. This and this. Whatever that means. There's 2 logs. 11:20. A minute after he gets off the phone. So I really do think that this is Chris's cell phone. See how, like, just all these timing that lines up with when he got home from work that day, and now this after the phone call, before the phone call, everything just lines up that I feel like that this is Chris's personal cell. Okay, so we have those 2, and then we have another log at 1:11 a.m. So remember, this is Sunday night. This is leading up to the time. So 1:11 a.m. Monday morning. 2 of them on at 1:11 a.m. Monday morning. And we know Shanann was trying to call and text. Well, here, I brought up her text. So at 9:29, she made an unanswered call to Watts. So we know that's right after he got off the phone with NK, because his and NK's 111-minute phone conversation starts at 9:28. So Shanann tries to call. He doesn't answer because he's talking to NK. And then Shanann at 9:44, Shanann told Watts, so she texted him, tried calling you to give you update, was starting to board, and they announced that our crew isn't here yet, and it's going to be a minimum of an hour before they are here. Still no answer from Chris, and then she texts him again at 9:45. She says, so still no answer from Chris, and then she gets a calendar alert. Shanann gets a calendar alert at 9:45. It says flight WN6149 from Phoenix to Denver. And then finally, Chris responds at 11:21, which is 2 minutes after he gets off the phone with NK, because we know his 111 phone conversation with NK ends at 11:19. must plug in his phone at 11:20 because there's some kind of log at 11:20. So he gets off the phone with that long conversation. 11:19, 11:20. There's an event with his device on the router, and then 11:21 he finally responds to Shanann saying, "Holy crap! Sorry, I passed out on the couch. That's gonna be late." Which we know that's a lie. He's been talking to NK for almost 2 hours. Okay, so yeah, so he's probably not sleeping like he claims. Oh, he fell asleep, and oh, when she got home, he was sleeping. No, he was up probably to the minute he heard her car. He heard the car pulling in and then probably pretended to be sleeping. Or I mean, guess none of us know what happened. But there was 2 events at 1:11 a.m. and then one at 11:32 a.m. 2 at 1:35 a.m. And like I said, these could just be updates. I don't know. Him saving stuff. I don't know all the options. So somebody that knows computers, if you guys know more options that what this could mean. And then Monday at, I already showed you the Monday at 2:08 p.m. So basically there's 2 at 1:35 a.m. And then after that, nothing until he comes home from work, which makes sense. I mean, why would there be anything? After that, he probably didn't use his phone at all. Who knows? He might have turned it off until he got on the road. But I mean, after 1:35, then he probably lay down or got ready for doing what he was going to do. So she gets home at 1:48 and he didn't use his phone at all, at least at his house. Not until he left the house did he use his personal phone or work phone. Well, the work phone did have a couple logs, but I don't think he actually used it. I mean, 5 a.m. or wait. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, 5:25 a.m. I think that's just right before he left to head out the door to go to Survey, actually. But his cell phone, yeah, 1:30 at 5 a.m., two events, and then nothing. He did, and we know what happened after that, but we know he didn't use his phone at all after that. Well, as far as there's no record of any texts at that time frame or phone calls and stuff. That's what I mean by that. I wish I knew that every specific event that can mean, but basically there's nothing else after 1:35 a.m. Then we know at 1:48, that's when Shanann comes home. Nobody knows really exactly what happened, but the next time that there's an event at the house is 2:08 p.m. That's when he gets home, we know, from work that day. But like I said, that kind of makes sense because he left, after that all happened, then he went to work and he had his phone at work, so it wouldn't show up. There wouldn't be any events at the house because he wasn't there until he came back. And then, so that's that. And then Shanann's cell phone, the reason I believe that that is Shanann's is because two things line up with hers. The time she gets home at 1:48, there's an event, which her phone would be reconnecting to the service area. And then the time we see them find Shanann's phone and turn it on, it matches up to an event on the same phone that the event at 1:48 matches up. So both of them match up. So I feel like it almost has to be this phone, right? So I'll show you here. So the 1:48 event. Okay, so here's the 1:48 event that I feel that this one is Shanann's phone. And you see that's the time that it would have reconnected because that's the time she got home. So it makes sense that her phone would have had an event reconnecting. And then, since both of them match, because you could be like, well, this one's close, and this one's, oh, that's wired, hold on. Oh, those ones are plugged in anyway, so that wouldn't work. I was just trying to give you an example, but the reason is because there's 2 of them that match up with this IP address. So we got this one that matches up, 1:48, and then at 2:14 p.m. Monday, I'll show you. Okay, 2:14. There's an event right here, right? Well, there's a couple, 2. Okay, you'll see 2:14, 2:14. Now watch what happens at 2:14, which makes sense because we know that Shanann's phone was turned off at some point. So then when it was turned back on at 2:14 again, which I'll show you on the body cam that it was 2:14 when it was turned back on, then it would have another log because it's reconnecting to the router and stuff. So it would make another event or log or whatever. So that makes sense that it's at 2:14. So let me show you the part in the video. So remember, this is Greenwich Mean Time. So you have to do 20 minus 6 is 14. So 20 minus 6 is 1400 hours. 1400 hours is 2. But it's 2:13. You see up there. So it's, well, it's 14:13. So it'd be 2:13 p.m.
Does she work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home?
She works, this is her lifeline. Yeah, that thing turns back on, it's going to start blowing up. Oh, yeah. Interesting.
It was shut down?
She's in the flight, yeah. Well, it was originally on the propeller on the couch. You know her passcode?
I don't know her passcode.
It used to be 2385, but now it's 6 digits.
It's the baby's due date.
1/31/8/19.
What does she do for work?
She works a direct sales company called Drive.
How often does her blood sugar drop low?
Cassie, her friend in Arizona, said that that's the first time that's ever happened.
She normally has migraines, like a while ago, but she had them a lot this weekend. So Cassie's a nurse, so she figured it was because of blood pressure.
Yeah, so you see around 2:14 and you'll see the event. 2:14 right here. Yeah, I already showed you. So 2:14, which makes sense. So that's why I think it's Shanann's phone. This IP address and MAC address right here is Shanann's, I believe. So anyway, we have 1:48 a.m., which she gets home. Then the 2:14, there's 2 of the 2:14 p.m. logs, and that's when they turned on the phone and stuff. And then there's another one at 3:37 p.m. There's 2 more at 3:37 p.m. And that's it for her phone, because I'm sure that's after that is when they take her phone, so it's not in that area anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure, I think the law enforcement takes it from the house, so therefore it wouldn't have any more logs in the router at the Watts house, at that house, because it's not even in that area anymore. So when they did, the celebrate and stuff, that was at the police station, I'm sure, or wherever they did it, but not at their house. So yeah, so that's that. So we went over Chris's 2 cell phones, his Apple Watch, Shanann's phone, and then we have that laptop, what I believe is an HP laptop. It's just, I feel like it's just normal stuff. Nothing's gonna tell us, at least not the information that we actually know. It's not going to tell us anything that it's not going to give us any clues, I don't think, unless if we could figure out what some of this other stuff is. But there's no way, from what we know, we don't have enough information to figure out what all these devices are. Not all of them, just a few other devices that are here. But what if it is, like, okay, some of you guys believe there's an accomplice. So, if we knew some of these devices and what exactly they were, then if there was an accomplice that whoever was connected to the Wi-Fi, that it would automatically connect, that could be a clue. But no, how are we ever going to know that? We're not. There's not enough information here, I feel like. Okay, so the HP is at 10:47, so I think it's the laptop, 10:47 a.m. on Sunday. There's 2 of those. Or no. Okay, so the HP, so you'll see a lot of them are like every 12 hours, or it's a regular schedule. That's why I think it's like updates and stuff. So the HP, which I believe is the laptop, probably it's just updating. So at 10:47 a.m. on Sunday, and then 10:47 p.m. on Sunday, and then 10:47 a.m. on Monday, 10:47 p.m. on Monday, 10:47 a.m. on Tuesday. But then the weird thing is it goes to 5:39 Tuesday. So it breaks that 12-hour cycle. And what happens at 5:39 on Tuesday, you ask? Oh, let me just say though, and then once it's, I don't know if that's a normal thing and why it would break that 12-hour cycle, if that's just because the HP wasn't used at all, and then he used it on Tuesday at like around that time or something, and then it broke when it did the automatic updates, or he went in there and changed it. I don't know what this all means. I know it looks like those are updates, but why did it switch? Because then on Wednesday it goes back to the 12-hour cycle. So Tuesday it's at 5:39 p.m. and then Wednesday 5:39 a.m. So it's from the 12 hours from Tuesday to Wednesday. But there's a few things that break that cycle at around 5:39, 5:40 on Tuesday. And so I wanted to see, okay, well, where was Chris at that time? Because I remember that he left sometime on Tuesday to go, well, he was heading over to the Thayer's house, but then he gets called by who I believe is Agent Coder, because he gets called basically to go do an interview with him. So remember, there's surveillance watching him. They watch him come out of the, drive out of the garage with the Lexus, pull up to his truck, which is parked a little bit down the street. It looks like he's moving some things around. He's got the car doors open of the truck, and who knows what he's doing, hiding evidence, putting stuff in the truck, taking stuff out. Well, my guess is probably taking stuff out of the truck, because he's going to be driving the Lexus, so getting stuff out of the truck. And then he takes off, and then they follow him, and he goes and he's on the highway, and then he ends up doing like a U-turn and turning around, because that is where he gets the phone call, because he's heading to the Thayers, because he's spending the night there, remember? And he gets a phone call to meet with Agent Coder. And remember, he goes, so he basically does a U-turn to go to the police station to meet with Agent Coder. And he's there for hours. And then he ends up going over to the Thayers that night and spending the night. And then the next morning is when he goes and picks his dad up from the airport. So this is Wednesday, picks his dad up from the airport and then goes to the police station, and that's when he has his polygraph and stuff. When he's there all day, then he finally confesses. So I wanted to see what time it was that, because why was all these devices getting interrupted in their regular cycle? At least for the last couple days they had a regular cycle, and then around like 5:40 on Tuesday is when they like basically got cut into their normal cycle, and then it started a new cycle around that time. Like something had to have broke that cycle at that time for some reason, right? So I looked at what time was it that he left. What time was it that he left to head to the Thayers and then ended up turning around to go to the police station? So I looked it up, and it's actually, where is it here? At 6:30, okay? So 6:30 p.m. is when Chris left in the SUV and stopped at the truck. So it's basically when he pulled out of the garage. It was 6:30 p.m. when he pulled out of the garage to stop at the truck, and then he left, okay? So 6:30. So what time did I say again? The cycle got interrupted on a few devices at around 5:39, 5:40. So yeah, that makes sense, right? You know, shortly before he left, he got on all the devices and I don't know, changed them. I don't know what he was doing, but did something to cause it to change all around that same time. 5:39, 5:40. So he left at 6:30. So it was, you know, like less than an hour before he left. So is he preparing, getting stuff prepared and cleaned off or something before he left? I don't know. But as we go through them, he does it with a few of these devices that are on a regular update schedule, it looks like. Okay, so the Cisco, that one I think is just the router or something. I don't know. Like I said, somebody, if you guys could fill me in on my ignorance on some of this stuff, let me know. But otherwise, yeah, let me know. I'm sure I will get some people that do know a lot more on this than I do, because I don't know a lot of this technical stuff when it comes to computers. But Cisco got the router, I think, something to do with the router. So 2:06 p.m. on Sunday, 2:06. So here's a schedule here. You see every 12 hours. 2:06 p.m. Sunday, 2:06 a.m. Monday, 2:06 p.m. Monday, 2:06 a.m. Tuesday, 2:06 p.m. Tuesday, 2:06 a.m. Wednesday. So that's definitely a 12-hour cycle of updates or whatever it's doing. And then we have Shanann's iPad. So we have Sunday 11:46 a.m. and then Monday. So it goes from Sunday then to Monday at 4:30 a.m. So this is, I mean, I think it is just an update, because it's kind of weird, because 4:30 a.m. would be around the time that everything's going on, you know, so it's kind of weird that it's that time. But if you look at the rest, it's an update schedule. But I don't know, because it started at 11:46 a.m. So how did it get to 4th? Oh, because we don't know. See, yeah. Why did it go? If it was on this regular schedule, it's after Sunday. You think it would have been 11:46, and it would have stopped every 12 hours, because then it goes to 4:30 a.m., which we know is around the time, prime time. Like, that's the time we feel like a lot of the stuff went down. And then, but then it starts a 12-hour thing where it's like 4:30 p.m. on Monday, 4:29 a.m. on Tuesday, 4:29 p.m. on Tuesday, 4:29 a.m. on Wednesday. But why did it start off at 11:46? You think it would have went 11:46 a.m. and then 11:46 p.m. But wonder if something interrupted that cycle at 4:30 a.m. You know, if Chris did something and went into the computer and like updated it at that time, which then it created it to update every 12 hours from when he manually updated it. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking, that, you know, you could go in there and manually do it, or just do it could be on an automatic thing. So maybe, I don't know about this situation, but the time before he leaves on Tuesday, because he knows he's going to be staying the night somewhere, and then who knows, you know, what's going to happen from there, if to the house or whatever. If he manually went in there and updated some of the devices at the time before he left, or erased something or something. It's just, those are regular updates. But then that 11:46, just wonder why it cut in at 4:30 a.m. Who knows? I'm probably confusing you guys even more. Okay, so DirecTV here. So we have DirecTV at 1:53 p.m. on Sunday. Okay. And I know originally when I was looking at this, before I seen the cycles of it, I was like, 1:53 a.m. on Monday, that would have been around, 5 minutes after Shanann got home at 1:48. So I wonder, DirecTV, wonder if she got home, turned on the TV a little bit, laid in bed, so basically I just pictured her getting home, going upstairs, turning on the TV, because 1:48 she gets home, she has 5 minutes, put her suitcase down, blah blah blah, go upstairs, turn on the TV, get ready for bed. But then when I saw that 1:53 p.m. on Sunday, and then so 12 hours before that, and then 12 hours after that, 1:53 p.m. on Monday, so it's like these 12-hour cycles. So like, no, that's just a coincidence. So yeah, so the DirecTV has 1:53 p.m. Sunday, 1:53 a.m. Monday, 1:53 p.m. Monday, 1:53 a.m. Tuesday, 1:53 p.m. Tuesday, and here is where we get interrupted at that Tuesday at 5:40 p.m., less than an hour before he leaves to go stay with the Thayers, but then gets turned around to go meet with Coder. But why is there multiple devices that get changed on their schedule here? So yeah, at 5:40 p.m. So then, since whatever, he probably just got on maybe the hour before he left doing something on these devices, and then it switched the schedule to 5:40. So then every 12 hours, so 5:40 p.m. Tuesday, 5:40 a.m. Wednesday, and then that's the last we have of that one. So that's DirecTV. But then there are some events on DirecTV, which I don't think mean anything, but that maybe something's recorded on the DVR and stuff. I'll show you here. They're the purple ones. Where are they? So look, we have an event right here at 6:08 a.m. I think it's just recorded stuff on DVR is all I think it is. I know I'll have people disagree with stuff, and that's fine because there's some things that I am not sure. I'm doing my best educated guess, but yeah, here's another one at 6:08 a.m. So it says a set event. That's why I think it's just an event of yeah, DVR recording. What do you guys think? And here's another one at 8:01 p.m. on Tuesday. Yeah, nobody would even have been there at 8:01 on Tuesday because he would already been he would have still been in the interview, I think, with Coder, and then he went to Thayer's. So yeah, it's just pretty sure it's just a recorded event for DVR probably. All right. I don't know if there's any more, but it's not that big of a deal. If there, yeah, there's one at 9:09 p.m. and then we know nobody would have been there then either. And 12:09 a.m. on, yeah, nobody would have been there at that time. And even on Wednesday, and 3:09 a.m. Nope. Yeah, nothing. Another one at what, 5:40 a.m. And then I really think, and I'd really love to know if, because it's the only time we see this, is this, because this would be before the law enforcement had access to the house, because this is before the polygraph even started on Wednesday. So what does that mean? Computer people help me. Why would the admin user be here? Does that, and what, 4 times? Does that mean, look, and it actually says failure. Oh, and I forgot, there's one more time right here. Let me highlight that here. I'll make a little note. So I have it. I missed this one. So that's what, admin 1S. Okay, what time is that? But remember, it's 2 hours off, so it's actually 8:08. So yeah, let me know what that means. Does that mean that he stopped home and tried to do something, or somebody went there and tried to log in and clear some data out or something, or he did, but why the failure? Okay, so it looks like they tried. Or wait, what's the time here? I know that all was 8. It was all like around 8. So 8:22, 8:23, 8:24, 8:26, 8:33, and 2 of them, or 3 of them say login failure. Oh no, only one says login failure. I lied. Oh shoot, this one says login failure, but then these ones just say login. Okay, and that could happen easily. Sometimes you put in the wrong password. I've done it on accident, you know. So that's that. Let me see. I'm almost through, guys. I know I'm probably boring you. So the next one is 1.13. Just, it's a wire connection. Nothing really interesting. Just don't even know what it is, but it's all every 12 hours. 1:43 Sunday, 1:43 a.m. Monday, 1:43 p.m. Monday, 1:43 a.m. Tuesday, and so on until Wednesday. So that's nothing. What else do we got? Okay, so the rest is kind of boring. I'm not going to read through. There's 5 other devices. 4 of them, nothing interesting happens. They're just every 12 hours, basically. They're updating for the most part. So I'm not going to bore you with those. But there's one other device, though, that it looks like it's on a somewhat regular update schedule or whatever, log schedule, whatever it's doing. And then it has that weird interruption at like around 5:36, 5:38 on Tuesday, right before Chris is about to leave to head to the Thayer's, which he gets turned around, like I said, and ends up meeting with Coder. But it's another device that is interrupted in the normal scheduling. So I'll give you a list of that device, then that's the last one I'm going to list out. Everybody have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye.